what are the fundamental concepts that we really should understand? It's some basic things that each individual need to understand before they'll ever be able to properly apply this to their lives. Key concepts. Number one, positive expectations. Your attitude determines the outcomes you receive in life. We have been programmed, everybody say programmed. We have been programmed to think a certain way regarding money. Your existing circumstances in life are the results of what you have been thinking in the past, based on what you have been conditioned to believe down on the inside. Your philosophy. Your philosophy controls your thinking. As a result of your philosophy, you are in whatever positions that you are in right now as a result of what you've been conditioned to think in the past and what you really believe down on the inside. You can never go beyond the limits of what you think is possible. According to Proverbs 23:7 states, as a man what? As a man thinketh in his heart, what? So is he. In this particular case, I remember back I had a close relative that ended up in prison because of his activities and his lifestyle. His lifestyle took him in a direction that was contrary to the law. Okay, but I'm standing here to tell you that the mindset and the attitude that he had in his mind was stronger than the bars that was keeping him locked in prison. What we think in our lives, what we think and believe is govern what happens in our lives. So you have to guard against these mindsets and these attitudes. Number two, personal responsibility. Oh, I know I better hide before I get this is a pretty big board right here. Personal responsibility. You are responsible for 100%. You're responsible for 100% of the outcomes in your life. You cannot blame anybody else for your success or your failure. The choices you make, everybody say choices, the priorities you set and the actions you take will determine the outcomes you receive in your life. Number three, purpose and destiny. You were created for a purpose. Everybody say purpose. You were born for more than just to live, get a job, pay bills, and go to heaven. God created us to make a difference in the lives of others, not to consume everything that we earn on ourselves. But yet, as we look back through our communities, as we look back at people's lives, most people are struggling financially and economically. They get a job just so they can go out and pay their bills. And at the end of the week, just like my dad worked for Alabama Power Company for 28 years. He lived out of the bank of the back pocket. He got paid on Friday. Saturday night came, it was all gone. And Monday, what? He started the whole process all over again. Somebody talk to me. How many people know some people like that? Now, I know the people in here, ain't nobody in here like that, but I know y'all know somebody like that. Every individual have been given gifts, talents, and abilities needed to fulfill the vision God has put in their heart. You are the solution to somebody's problem. Your gift is the answers to somebody's prayer. Most of us don't look at ourselves like that. But our lives have value. The more value that we provide to others, the more income and resources that we have coming to us. Number 4, potential. God has provided everything. God has provided everything you need to live a successful and productive life. You have the power and the capacity to dominate your circumstances. On the inside of every individual, there's the power to overcome insurmountable odds and excel far beyond the limits of our current circumstances. Deep down on the inside of every individual, there's a switch that can be turned on that releases your potential to achieve. For example, when I was a young guy, very young, I guess I must have been 4 or 5 years old. And I was with my daddy. It was just me and him out there. And my daddy said something. He said something to me that flipped the switch on the inside of me when I was little. He said, son, you can do anything you want to do in life. And he told me, he said, go get yourself a good education and make something out of yourself. When he said that, it literally did something I believed it. And as a result, I carried that thing all the way out through my life. That was something that was on the inside of me that balanced this thing out. What happens is I pass that same thing down to my children. Anna, I got 4 kids. All 4 of them they graduated from high school and college. My son is an attorney. After he graduated, he went on to graduate school and got his law degree. My second daughter has got 2 masters and a doctor's. She was a Rhodes Scholar. A Rhodes Scholar means that she was in the top 10 of all the people, not only in the United States, but throughout the world academically. She never made an A in high school, never made never made a B in high school, never made a B in college. Straight A student. My oldest daughter is graduate. She's got her degree. She's got children after she got married. So I got grandkids. My baby daughter just got her MBA degree. So what happened was, it was a switch. Something happened to me on the inside, where all of the guys that I was growing up with in Pritchard, many of those guys are still where? Over in Pritchard. Matter of fact, I remember I left, and I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. And I was there for 21 years. When I left Mobile, I left a lot of my friends, the boys, on the corner and under the big oak tree. How many people know what I mean when I said big oak tree? So what happened was, when I went to Little Rock and I came back to Mobile, Alabama, 21 years later, guess what? A lot of the boys that I left under the big oak tree is still under the big oak tree. The only difference now, Anna, is that they got their children, their nephews, and the rest of them under the big oak tree with them. How many people know what I'm talking about? So what happens is that thing is on, the switch is on the inside of us, but in most cases it lies dormant until somebody, Larry, gets in there and actually massage that switch, click something that calls us to look at things just a little bit differently. And that's what we want to do in this class tonight. We want to start people, we want to encourage people to go reach down deep on the inside and flip that script. Vision. Oh, this one is so important. Vision. In order to reach your destination, you must have a clear vision for your life. A clear goal with a definite, everybody say definite. A definite destination with measurable outcomes. Your destiny depends on what you can see in your mind. You don't necessarily have to be able to walk up to it and lay your hands on it, but you should be able to close your eyes and see your vision. Your vision should be that clear. Once you set a definite goal for your life or a definite goal to go out and attain a certain thing, if you can stay focused on that goal will draw you to it. It will control your thinking. It will control your action. It's strong enough to pull you off of the corner and from under the big oak tree. One of the things, praise the Lord, getting excited. Each lesson, how much time I got left on this one? I'm supposed to have 45 minutes. 6 minutes, so I got to go through all this in 6 minutes. Okay. Stewardship. Your stewardship will be determined by the goals you set, by the choices you make, and how well you manage. Everybody say manage. The resources God has entrusted to your care. In order to fulfill God's purpose and destiny for your life, you must learn how to be a what? A good steward. And properly manage what you have. There are spiritual laws and there are natural laws that governs financial and economic success. In my book, God's Plan for Your Finances, we outline 12 spiritual principles from a spiritual perspective, okay, that governs financial and economic success. A lot of people never even, when I was growing up, I never even realized God cared anything about money. But what's happening is the Bible is full of basic principles that govern financial and financial circumstances. Organized knowledge. Oh. The boys under the big oak tree are wise to the ways of the world. The only problem is they get all of their information off the television and the other boys under the big oak tree. How terrible. What a tragedy. So they are operating their lives based on the knowledge and the information they have. Most of them don't know how, they wouldn't even know how to turn a computer on. Many of them don't even know how to read because they don't feel that there's any value to them going out and learning these things because somebody else is controlling their lives. Somebody else is controlling their success and their failure. There are two ways we learn and process knowledge. By our own experience and by learning from the experience and mistakes of others. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I done probably made enough mistakes to help everybody out. You know, but what happened is I'm the guy that's always on the front line. When I was growing up, you know, I was the what they used to call them people back on wagon train and the scouts. I was the one always on the front line. I would go out there first and I would ram my head against the wall and then I'd go back and I'd tell everybody else what's going on, tell them to come on over here. You know, this water is good over here. So what happens is, what's happened is your knowledge, you have to be able to process correct information. Correct information. You cannot depend on everything somebody tell you. All right, don't get mad at me now. That means your friend that's got all of these tips and advice and all of this other stuff for you about how to do it, you need to look back at their lives and see if the destination that they are is the same place you want to go. Come on now, somebody. Okay, your number 8, listen to this one. Your finances to your vision is like oxygen to your body. If your body doesn't have the oxygen it needs, it will die. If your vision doesn't have the resources and finances it needs, it will die. You must educate yourself. Money, let me say it like this. Let me make this point first. Money, everybody say money. Money is not the most important thing. But money sure make the rest of the things go a little bit better. Come on, somebody. You know, in church, you get sensitive when you start talking. Everything start getting funny when you start talking about money in church. But yet and still, we are going out working 8 hours a day to get what? Money. Come on. However, it is a prominent position and is key ingredient to the successful completion of your vision. You must educate yourself on how money works in order to be successful, regardless, everybody say regardless, of your chosen profession. It don't make any difference whether you are a pastor, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a politician. There's basic principles to managing financial and economic resources that we must understand in order to be successful. Number 9, you may have to change. You may have to change some priorities in your life. If you are currently in a financial crisis, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, financial pressures, etc., don't allow the circumstances to set your priorities. Your first priority is to your family's basic needs. Your first priority is to your family's well-being, the basics, food, clothing, and shelter and transportation. Everything else is literally secondary. I know you don't normally hear something like this in church, but we got to get down to reality here. Okay, everything else is secondary. You may have to take some of these other things and put them on the back burner. Come on now, until you get that foundation laid. How many people can agree with me on that? Number 10, there's power in agreement, and this is very important for this class. Okay, in this class, this class right here, there's power in agreement, harmony and peace. It is imperative that you and your spouse be in what? Agreement. Everybody say agreement. As it relates to making financial decisions, couples must be in agreement on spending, savings, debt reduction, and long-term financial goals for your financial plan to be successful. Financial problems, financial stresses are the leading cause of what? Divorce and marital problems. Personal accountability and financial success. According to Webster, success is favorable or satisfactory outcome or results. You should be able to see and literally measure progress on an annual basis. If you are constantly struggling, or somebody that you know are constantly struggling financially, there's usually a problem somewhere. And what you have to do is actually go out and identify